internet is one of the fastest growing areas of technical infrastructure development. Over the past decades, the growth of the internet and its use afforded everyone a world that contains just about anything one is searching for, from business, industry, government, to not-for-profit organizations. With the advent of these advancements in information accessibility and applications come an exponentially growing disadvantage cybercrime. Cybersecurity has risen to become a national concern, as threats concerning it now need to be taken more seriously. In Nigeria, several internet-assisted crimes known as cybercrimes are committed daily in various forms, such as fraudulent electronic mails, pornography, identity theft, hacking, cyber harassment, spamming, automated teller machine spoofing, piracy, and phishing. On this episode of Nigeria Today, we will be looking at reasons for cybercrimes, methods of stepping up cybersecurity, and recommendations that would help in checking the increasing rate of cybercrimes in Nigeria. Thanks for joining us. I am your carrier, Clinton. Welcome. Now, joining us in the studio tonight for the conversation is Haniel Jafaru. He's an IT and cybersecurity expert. You're welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you for always having me.
And also with us in the studio is Tanimu Ahmed Abubakar. He's a lawyer and a former banker. Glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a delight being here.
I'll start with you, Jafaru. You just give us, some of the major cyber threats that Nigeria is being faced. Now, first of all, you just give us an overview of what cyber crimes are. Because we're kind of a little bit limited in terms of the explanation.
Okay, so cybercrimes are generally crimes that are committed with the help of electronic devices. So the device can become the tool, and it can also become the target. So most cybercrimes usually operate mostly online, and some persons will consider it to be known as internet crimes, but not all internet crimes. All internet crimes are cybercrime, and so the internet crime is just a portion or a dimension of cybercrime. There are other crimes, like you've asked. So we have a crime known as ransomware, which is a crime that tends to, it works in form of kidnapping. It kidnaps your data. Your data, you would have your data on your system, but you can't have access to them because the data has been encrypted. That's one. We have investment fraud, that's where Ponzi scheme comes to play, where people tell you there's a whole lot of online investment platforms like this crypto. There was one recently that happened, Amstar, where people were tapping and tapping and tapping, and they were expecting that once that coin get listed, they would get paid. But yeah, it got listed, but the amount they were expecting was not the amount. So it's a form of crime. There are actually offers where you expend your funds, you spend your money, you do a lot of mining, and at the end of the day, you won't get paid. So that's also. Then there is the hacking, where someone gain access to your systems and begin to maneuver and do things on your systems without authorization. Then we have cyberbullying, which is usually online, where somebody begin to bully you and harass you online. We have the cyber harassment. Then it's quite important that I state there is now the child sexual exploitation, online child sexual exploitation, which is a form of cybercrime where you begin to use children's content to make children's image and abilities to make content online is a crime. So a whole lot of crimes that things as long as, and it keeps increasing. The strategy keeps changing, and the good thing is that we're even in the Cybersecurity Awareness Month, where this month is largely dedicated for awareness, and even organizations are putting it as a priority to keep their staff aware of the tactics. The goal remains the same, but the tactics usually change. The tactics for yesterday is largely can be different from the tactics that they would use today. So the goal remains the same, but the tactics, which is the strategy they use in achieving that goal, usually changes. And the Yahoo guys will call it was a new strategy, or give me the new updates. Exactly, give me the new updates, because the goal is the same thing, but the updates, how they get that goal changes. So yeah.
So they keep updating.
They keep updating.
So it's Tanimu, you know, you've worked in the bank for quite a number of years now. I know that there are some common crimes that can be that related to banking industry, the financial institutions. So tell us some of them that you have seen in the past, and just like you said, the updates.
For me personally, I've had close call and personal encounter with them, and a lot of workplace many Nigerians. Some are embarrassed to even come out on air or to even make complaint. I have an uncle. He called me once and he said, they've debited me and my money, 500,000 is gone, that I should take action. I said, wait. How did they do it? Are you with your ATM card? Are you with your phone? Did you send any message to anybody? Did you click on any link? Before he was panicking, then he stopped for a while. He now said, yes, there was a link that they said they want him to update his profile. And the moment he clicked on it, the next thing, he's just seeing point of sale and transaction emanating from his account. He is not the one doing it, but because he has clicked on that link on his phone, they were able to have access into his account. We see this on a daily basis. You receive a phone call, somebody is telling you you are from so bank, they want you to update your record, so you should send in your profile, you should send in your data on your ATM card, and once you submit to it, you are done. Your monies will be taken. And when you see people complaining that banks are deducting money from their account, this with the connivance of them, I will assure you, majority of from the investigations that I've personally seen and witnessed, you discover that in one way or the other, the integrity of their details have been compromised, either through email, either through phone. So I will advise Nigerians, as a matter of fact, no bank has the time to call you to tell you that you should come and update your record through online. We have bank branches all over. If the safest thing for you to do, once you receive any call, just go to the nearest branch and ask them, why do you want me to do any of such? If for those that have huge amount of money, and equally we have internal people too that equally, you see the update thing is a multifaceted action where you have people inside, people outside. Your information in the bank, any middle ranking officer of the bank can access your data. They know your balances. They can now link it out to somebody outside. They have different form that they operate. If they use this format, they call it format as well. If they use this format today, tomorrow they will change into a different format, all to finance you to take your hard-earned resources. So we should be wary. And the greed equally. I was just the one he was saying. For me, you see a lot of people, highly placed people, regulators, lawyers, bankers, on their phone, they are tapping their phone.
Yes.
I said, what's the meaning of it? I said, the boy said, no, for any amount, for free, you can give me $1 million. I'm not interested. Why would I just be tapping my phone and the next thing they will tell you, coins, crypto? We don't need that for now with the current economic situation. If you are not losing money, if you are not making money, don't lose time. Don't lose time. Don't lose the one that you have.
Disappointed after the tapping and at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was.
So Jafaru, how do we know that how can one deduce that he or she is about to fall victim, or how can you avoid falling victim?
There are strategies that they use. One of it is urgency. they want you to do something. They put a time frame to it. That's one. And they said, if you don't do this thing before this particular time frame, you will lose out of a particular opportunity. So when they have put a time frame to it and they want you to work within that time frame, it should be a red flag. Then another thing is that there are times where if they send you an email, there are things you want to look out for in that email. Most of the times, the emails can be generic. So they said, "Dear all." If you're sending me an email, my name should be specifically, the email should be addressed specifically to me. So instead of making it a generic email, "Dear all," hello, without having to state who you are addressing that email to, because what they did is that they sent a mass phishing email, and because they don't have the name of everybody, they will just generalize it, and that should cause you to, that should be a red flag. Another thing that they usually do is if it's an organization that is well trained, they always look out for grammatical errors before they send any email. So all these guys are usually not well trained. So there is that potency for grammatical error. Even though we know that now AI is helping them, they will pass their whatsoever thing they want to write through AI, and AI will fine-tune that. But notwithstanding, it's also something that not all of them are begun to use that format yet. But those are some of the things we should look at. But more importantly, that urgency, anything that makes you to do it now, that should be the most relevant red flag, because they're usually on their system and they want you to do it now, because once you do it at that point, it reflects on their system and they have the time to take over that account, especially when they want you to send WhatsApp code. They say, there's a group I want you to join, and I will just send you the code. Please send it to us now, because if not, it will expire. Yeah, it will expire truly, because they need you to do it at that point, and they're with their system. So once you send them the code, they take over your WhatsApp account. And once they take over your WhatsApp account, because they're using a system, if you're using a phone, it would have been different. But because you're using a system, you can knock them out of the account, but you can't knock them out of your groups, because that's a challenge. So if you uninstall and reinstall, you take over your account back from them. But all the groups that you belong to, they still have access to them, so they can begin to contact members in that group and solicit for funds. And usually they use all these applications where you don't need to put in, the KYC is not strong, so there is no, the names they are using are fake. The phone numbers, they are real, but they probably bought the numbers from all those platforms. That's another challenge from Telecom's end, because the phone numbers are supposed to be linked to your they are supposed to be registered and linked to your NIN, but if you find out that one NIN is having like 100 phone numbers, and you guys just intentionally registers them to sell it to those guys, and you all the details you are using in that transaction are practically cannot be linked to them. And because the KYC is small, is not strong, they can't do more than 50,000. I think recently I heard that they've increased it to like 80,000, so they can't do more than 80,000 naira transactions. So they ask this guy to send 80,000, this guy to send, so they send like 20 persons and 5 decide to send 80,000. That's 400,000 in a day.
I don't think this economy we give room for that. Tell somebody to send you 80,000. Do you know your person?
People do.
They do.
People
You
do,
can send me using your profile.
The thing is that it is assumed that you're communicating with the person that owns
in distress usually.
Yeah, because they come in distress. I'm in a fix, please. Can you please send me 50,000 naira? I'm in a fix, please. Can you please send me 100,000 naira? So you look at it and say, okay, if this person is sending me this request and that means it's probably from your end, from your standpoint, you want to help. not knowing that you're actually discussing with somebody that is not the owner of that account.
Well, you can call the person.
Now there are three strategies to it. Once you've been able to identify, the next thing you want to do is to verify the request. Then after verifying, verification is not the last state. Verification is most persons verify and end, because AI can help you, can mask that verification. So you want to call the person, and you want to call the person on WhatsApp, and there are different tools that can make the person's voice look like AI tools that can help the person mask his voice. So it should not just end with verification. You should go to the end of validating. Validating is leaving the person that you're supposed to send the money to and contacting someone close to the person to ensure that it is the same person.
Okay.
So it is identification, verification, then the last phase is validation.
Validation. Okay, this is still Nigeria Today. We'll take a short break now and listen to some people on this issue of cybercrimes in Nigeria, as put together by Leka Opanachiarua. Don't go away.
It's not every message you click. That's what some things will pop up from your phone, tell you to accept. You don't even know when you started this process and all, so you just cancel. And they're sharing out some bonuses, or the federal government is giving out some amount of money, which is not true. And you look at the website, it doesn't even look like a government website and all. Be very careful. As soon as you click, you are giving yourself away at all. So these are the reasons. These are the ways you can prevent yourself during this period from being hacked or being scammed at all.
A lot of people want to get what they probably didn't earn. So that's where it starts from. Somebody sends you a message and is telling you are going to get refund for all the airtime charges you have been getting. You know it's not possible. So if you don't have greed in your mind, you wouldn't even fall for it. So you suspect it. As much as you didn't put any effort into playing any game, suspect everything until you prove that it is true or false.
Stop clicking anything. Whatever they're advertising, anything, don't even go there. That's for me. That's how to stop yourself from preventing yourself from all these hackers. Don't even go to their site. Don't even click on the website they're advertising. Don't even click. Don't even go there at all.
We have an IT service provider that provides training on what to look for and alerts us to different types of scams as they occur. So we actually do okay in that regard.
Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and we're looking at tackling cybercrimes in Nigeria. And of course, I have two gentlemen here in the studio with me. Now, Tanimu, you had the reaction of the people there. While they were talking, I was wondering, we have laws.
That much of laws. So many laws.
We have so many laws. So how effective are these laws?
The effectiveness of the laws will focus on, you look at it in terms of implementation. How have we fared in terms of its implementation? We have the Cybercrime Prevention and Protection Act 2015 as amended, 2024. We have various laws, the criminal law, criminal code, the Anti-Money Laundering Act, various laws. It stipulates different punishment. All these categories of crimes, phishing, hacking, cyberbullying, cyber stalking, all have its attendance and punishment, ranging from maximum of 5 years to 7 million naira fine or boot. But you see, if you look at the volume, if you go to EFCC, this is one of the areas they are focusing on. But the volume, due to the economic downturn, a lot of youth, they rather engage in, they call it in the local parlance, yahoo yahoo. A lot of people are into it. You have the takers, the pickers, you have people giving accounts. So this is an existential problem, whereby so many people, they get rich quick syndrome, and because of the moral decadence, the failure in our value system. You see a young man that is in secondary school and an undergraduate using a brand new car. Where did he get the money from? In the AFCC Act, the to question the source say the people will say, why are you not questioning your source of poverty? Poverty can be a choice, but when you now have unexplained wealth, when we know you are not working and you are using an expensive car, you are living in Maitama and choice area, so we should now be checking the effectiveness of our laws. The laws are there. We've never been having any shortfall in terms of law, but the implementation, how many arrests will be made, how many people will be prosecuted, what is the societal value? Gone are the days where Yahoo boys are treated with this day. Now they are being celebrated. They are being given award. Some of them
even
have
chieftaincy titles.
Some of them, and to shock you, some of them move with security. I mean, I've seen it live. When you have a Yahoo boy having 5 policemen guiding him with guns, so you now be asking yourself, is everything right with the country? If the criminals that we all know, and then if you now look at in terms of the arrests, the various security agents are trying, but what they are the effort they are achieving is just a chiku.
Of course, they are not guilty until proven guilty. So that is why.
Not really. You see, we should not be only focusing about sanctioning. They should do more in terms of preventing it from occurring. We should be more proactive in our approach.
Thank you, Tanimu. Now, Jafaro, how can these cyber criminals be tracked down and prosecuted?
Okay, so one of the major challenges with cybercrime is the concept of attribution. Attribution is a concept in cybercrime whereby you are able to ascertain who you can know where a particular attack is coming from, but you would not be able to ascertain who is behind the attack. So you can know, let's say an attack is coming from a particular location, Kubwa, Jabi. You can even trace it to the house. But what if you get to the house now and you see like 70 persons in the house? Will they arrest the whole 70 persons? That's a huge challenge. Then there's also another challenge whereby an IP address, which is the major source where our investigators use in tracking these criminals. In Nigeria, an IP address is largely shared by a minimum of 50,000 persons. So if an IP address is used to track a particular attack or a criminal, and you bring the IP address to this part of the world, how do you ascertain who among the 50,000 persons carried out the crime? So so those are some of the challenges that investigators are encountering. However, there is the IP version 6, which is a new form of IP addresses which was recently launched, and a bulk portion has been allocated to Nigeria. The reason why we had shortage of IP address was because the block allocated to Nigerians, to Nigerian telecoms and ISPs are not much, so they had to do a system within to ensure that more persons gain access to the internet by sharing one IP with thousands of persons. But now the IP version 6 can accommodate more persons, so you have streamlined the numbers of persons that would share an IP, a particular IP address, and which is a good thing. So, but beyond that, like he has said, prevention is largely better than cure, and if one is able to prevent some of these things, it can go a long way. And from the standpoint of physical security professionals, they will call it there is the kinetic and the non-kinetic approach. Yes, so we should look at, if you go to, there are academic for these guys called Yahoo Yahoo. There's now like a school, just the way you go and you learn. They've designed a curriculum where people are trained in line with this.
For the HK.
Yeah, HK. So parents buy laptops for their children, fortify their children and tell their children, okay, go and enroll, pay for their children to be enrolled in this
the fortification
academy.
is through Otoboko Jazz, through spiritual means.
Yes. So then after which these kids will go and learn a structured way on how, and they grow in ranks. Yeah, they go in rank. There are those, like I said, there are those that are the pickers. There are those that you go to a room and you see like 15 boys. They are all with laptops. That's the least rank. The guys that handles the HQ guy. That's the guys that handles. There are those that manage funds. Nothing concerns them with with who brings the fund. They just provide accounts, and the account is where the fund gets to, and they know how to disburse this fund.
Okay, Jafaru, let me allow Tenimu, add his voice to this. Now, Tenimu, we've talked so much about, what you even said parents are now encouraging their children. Now, what role can the educational institutions play in creating awareness, and building a culture of cybersecurity in Nigeria?
For me, I think we need to have a revamping of our educational curriculum. What we have at the moment now is learning to read and to write, and the world globally with all advanced beyond that. These are issues that should be at the forefront. A lot of kids, apart from those that are in private school, they are not being tutored properly in these regards. And those in the other part of the divide, they are the ones now readily available candidates for the various HK, the home where they train them informally on how to engage in cybercrime. So the government now need to have a Marshall Plan on revamping our educational curriculum so that cybersecurity and cyber education, computer-based literacy should be a focal point. We need to do more because the consequences, if we fail to, will be devastating on the country as a whole.
Thank you so much. Well, this is where we will wrap up today's episode of Nigeria Today. Very big thank you to Hani Jafaru, IT and cybersecurity expert. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Always for having me.
And also Tenimu Ahmed Abubakar, a lawyer and a former banker. Thank you so much for your time and your contribution. And thank you for being part of the program. I am Ikeria Clinton. Goodbye.